Here's your wrestling news for November 12th, 2022. And we're kicking off with SmackDown, and after a month of eerie promos, Bray Wyatt finally got physical on last night's show. On SmackDown, Wyatt confronted LA Knight, asking the latter how far he'd go to earn respect, and says he sees a fire burning in the former Impact World Champion. When Knight told Wyatt to shove his puppets up his playhouse, Bray headbutted him, the first time we've seen the former Universal Champion get physical since WrestleMania 37. SmackDown saw Wyatt tease his first proper feud now that he's back, and though we expect Uncle Howdy to continue to linger over Bray, it'll be good to actually see Wyatt have an actual match soon. SmackDown also saw the opening matches for the SmackDown World Cup, and Mexico's Santos Escobar picked up a surprising, some could say underdog win, over Japan's Shinsuke Nakamura. On paper it makes sense as Escobar is a fresh face on SmackDown, but is yet to have the big run to establish himself on the show. In a less surprising result, the US of A's Braun Strowman demolished Jinder Mahal, representing India, to advance to the next round. It's still unclear what the winner will receive other than a trophy that is almost certainly going to be destroyed, but at least WWE is doing something with their oversized roster. In the main event, Roman Reigns came out to celebrate with the Usos, who had just retained their tag titles from the New Day, but the celebration didn't last long. Things quickly went awry when Ridge Holland and Butch confronted the Bloodline, as well as the returning Sheamus. The Brawling Brutes were outnumbered until the arrival of Drew McIntyre, and it's clear that this is building to War Games. Reigns, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, and Sami Zayn will face the Brawling Brutes, McIntyre, and a fifth partner, but who do you think that'll be? Let us know in the comments. More from SmackDown now, as Sami Zayn is the most over member of the Bloodline to not be named Roman Reigns, but he wasn't around during last night's show. Even during the undisputed WWE Tag Team title match between the Usos and the New Day, the fans' chant of Sami Uso went unanswered, and there's a good reason for that. Acknowledging the chants, Michael Cole said that Zayn couldn't make the show due to personal reasons, but didn't specify what those reasons are. It's not just in the States where Sami is wanted, as it was during the Crown Jewel press conference that the Saudi audience chanted "We want Sami," which was never going to happen. Sami's Syrian heritage means that WWE doesn't book him for their Saudi shows, and while we're still not sure why he missed SmackDown, we're hoping for a speedy return for the popular Bloodline member. Sami wasn't on last night's SmackDown, but Jey USO was, despite a nagging injury for the Bloodline star. Going into the tag title match at Crown Jewel, Jey was not at 100%, and WWE provided an update on his health during last night's show. On SmackDown, Cole noted that Jey had an X-ray done on his hand this past Monday, and that he is working through some possible ligament damage. Jey's injury wasn't hard to spot, as his arm was taped from top to bottom, and Wade Barrett praised the toughness of the Usos. Many in the Bloodline already see Jey as the weak link of the group, with claims that he hasn't been Usy enough in recent weeks, and we certainly wish Jey a speedy recovery from this injury. We're looking ahead to WrestleMania 39 now, as the show may still be 5 months away, but plans are already coming together. WrestleMania has often seen celebrities get involved with WWE, and this year will take that involvement to a whole new level. In the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer writes that WWE is attempting to attract many celebrities to the show, given that it'll take place in Los Angeles. WWE is trying to get a lot of celebrity involvement in the show, with the theme of being from Hollywood and the mainstream attention that comes from celebrities being there. The report adds that WWE co-CEO Nick Khan has several connections with high-profile names in both sports and entertainment, given his years as an agent. WrestleMania 39 will be the first Mania without Vince McMahon, and the team of Khan, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon are hoping to put their best foot forward in April 2023. Last month, the Good Brothers returned to WWE to aid AJ Styles in his feud with the Judgment Day. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows were released back in 2020 and hardly had positive things to say about WWE afterwards, which has made their return all the more surprising. On After the Bell, the pair addressed the return, saying that while they had spoken to Styles about a return, it was nothing concrete, and they had big plans to compete in Japan. That changed when Triple H took over in July, and after texting back and forth with the Game, both Gallows and Anderson felt the new vibe in WWE and how positive everything was. In the interview, the pair also addressed being released just days after working in the Boneyard match, and Gallows admitted that he was pretty offended to be cut after working in the main event of Night 1 of WrestleMania 36. In all likelihood, Gallows and Anderson would not have returned to WWE had Triple H not made so many positive changes to the company, and with both men still expected to make a handful of dates for New Japan, things have worked out perfectly for the Good Brothers. Triple H has made plenty of big decisions since his rise to the top of WWE's creative team, and his next decision could see a pair of former tag team champions be split up. Earlier this week, it was reported that WWE has spoken to Robert Roode about making a return to TV, as his last televised match was in early April. According to PW Insider, WWE has spoken to Roode about returning to SmackDown, despite previously being a Raw superstar at the time of his injury. If that happens, it'll likely mean the end of the Dirty Dogs, given that Dolph Ziggler remains on Raw. Roode excelled in Triple H's era of NXT, and it's possible that the game sees him as a single star again, so this move to the blue brand could be the best thing for the Glorious One. Back to SmackDown, as Shotzi earned herself a SmackDown Women's title match by winning a six-pack challenge, but her victory won't be what fans remember from the match. On the outside of the ring, Liv Morgan hit a splash on Raquel Rodriguez, which was clearly supposed to send the two through a table, but that table didn't break or even bend. On Twitter, fans lashed out at the botched spot, and some questioned what Triple H was thinking with the spot. Others said that it was Raquel's fault, believing that she was meant to catch Morgan and fall backwards through the table, which evidently didn't happen. Whatever the case may be, this was an awkward spot which clearly didn't go as planned, and one that fans were quick to badmouth online. Back to WWE, as Tamina had been on the main roster for over a decade now, but her career in the company has not exactly been one paved with gold. Tamina has had a handful of brief 24/7 title reigns and a run as WWE Women's Tag Champion, but fans haven't seen her at all on TV recently. Some have speculated that perhaps the multi-generation superstar is injured, but that isn't the case at all. When Fightful Select investigated, they found that Tamina is still wrestling at live events and has been working with Dana Brooke, who is sometimes her teammate and sometimes her opponent. Tamina's most recent televised match was back in August when she and Brooke teamed for a chance to re-enter the Women's Tag Team title tournament, and while she remains very active in the ring, this isn't translating into TV time for Snuka. And we're ending today with the Judgment Day, who have proven to be a force to be reckoned with on Raw. While the group had a shaky start earlier this year, the stable has really found their stride, and they've even won over Triple H. WrestleVotes reports that back in July when Triple H took over, the game wasn't keen at all about the Judgment Day and didn't like the idea of the group. In the 4 months since then, though, the group has been able to win over Triple H, as seen with the consistently impressive booking the group receives each week on Raw. The Judgment Day has been feuding with the OC for the past few months, and while the group is yet to hold gold, the future is bright for the Dark Group now that they've won over the head of creative. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.